Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Conspiracy Theory Thursday.
Conspiracy!
Dude, why do you always peek the microphones?
Because
I can't
I
undo that.
I demand attention.
Yeah, you little
and I've
attention
been
whore.
feeling very dictatory lately.
Oh, you gonna read the manifesto again?
Manifesto?
Yeah, the manifesto.
Oh, dipshit, that was just Mussolini's speech.
Yep, it was a manifesto.
He was just a fat ass Italian with
bald head. You could slap.
I don't think was he bald?
I'm pretty sure Mussolini was bald. Ryan, insert a picture right now, and we'll see what kind of haircut Mussolini rocked.
He definitely was full of ravioli, though. Look at that belly.
Yeah, anyways, so long story short, dictators are bald, and bald people are dictators. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about ghost stories, and, yeah, I know my uncle's a dictator. We'll sort it out. The streets will deal with him. Today we're going to be talking about ghost stories. So first, the first couple that I wanted to talk about, they're from my girlfriend. The first one was when she was little. There's apparently a ghost in their house named Goldie. And
Goldie?
Goldie.
Like Goldilocks?
Hell yeah, like Goldilocks.
Ow.
And before Allie lived there, I think it was like her cousin or someone lived there. And when she was a little girl, she would also talk about Goldie. And then when Allie was like 3 or some ridiculously young age, she started talking about Goldie, how she would play with Goldie and stuff. And this one week, she went for a really long time without her stuffed animal or blanket. I can't remember which. I'm sorry, Allie. You can clarify in the comments. She went for a really long time without either a stuffed animal or blanket, and then they never could find it. And then like a month later, Allie was playing with it in the floor of her room, and when her mom asked her where she found it, she said she found it from Goldie. Goldie gave it to her. And then another time, Allie was trying to get her shoes down off of a shelf, but again, she's really young, like 4 years old or something like that. Couldn't reach the shoes on the shelf, and her mom said that she would go get them in a second. And then when her mom came in there, she already had her shoes down from the shelf, and it was like a ridiculously high shelf that a 4-year-old could not manage to get, even if like by climbing. And when her mom asked how she got them, she said Goldie gave them to her. So those are Allie personally. And then
so her mom like believed that it was a ghost too.
I mean, I guess. How do you explain that? You know?
I don't know. Parents. I feel like parents aren't. My parents, I felt like were always like the ones that would be like, if something like that happened, they would have been like, huh. Well, that's interesting. But even though it seems as though there's pretty hard evidence that this is not normal and very well may be paranormal, I'm going to brush it off and act like it's just maybe some occurrence of gravity.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of parents do that. They're like,
there's too much hardcore evidence though, dude. Like, how do you talk off the fact that there was another like small child that used to talk about Goldie like 10 years before? Like, yeah. Like they're a lot older than Allie, and then Allie also talked about it. Like, there's just too much evidence. And then Allie was babysitting this child, and this kid had something wrong with him. I don't remember what it was. I don't even know if he had something wrong with him, or if he was just like really antisocial. But he would never talk to me. Like, Allie would FaceTime me while she was babysitting him, and she'd put me on the screen and show it to him, and he'd be like, and run away. He hated me.
Did he have Asperger's?
Maybe. He had something wrong with him, I think. But he was little too. He could like barely talk. And then he ran upstairs like in the dark. And then Allie went up there and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "We are playing." And it was just him, like, sitting in this dark room with the lights off all by himself in the floor with some of his toys playing. And she said, "Oh, okay." And, like, you know, imaginary friends and whatever, we are playing. It's normal. But then she picked him up, and when she was walking away from the pitch black room, he waved over her shoulder and said, "Bye-bye." And then he kept pointing at a closet door that was slightly open when they went downstairs. He just pointed at it and be like, there. And so Allie went and closed it, and then he would try to get in there,
I bet Allie like did not want to babysit that kid anymore.
I don't think she ever did again after that.
Aw.
Dude, I would hate that. Like, the parents aren't home and you gotta sit there and it's like freaking 8 o'clock at night.
I would have put the kid in the closet and closed it.
Oh no. It's like, you stay in here, Timmy.
Yeah, it's like, you want to go play with the little ghost? Okay.
I gotta get out of here. After you lock him in the closet. We're gonna make terrible parents one day. Okay, let's move on to Lester. Alex, I'll let you talk a little bit about Lester.
Lester the molester.
Because I have been talking quite a lot during this episode. So go ahead, Alex. Tell us about Lester.
Lester the molester. Okay, I I have goldfish brain, but
I can help you.
yeah, I can tell what I know. So we were in high school. Was this probably like junior year?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah. So we're in high school. We're juniors. We'd been like going around, and we started hanging out with people and doing stuff like going to abandoned spots and like, I don't know. We were just having a good time. It was, I think this particular event was still in the summer. And, like, we were doing a bunch of, like, crazy stuff in the summer.
This was, yeah, because it wasn't at Halloween, because during Halloween they turned this place into a haunted house.
So, we'd already explored a few places directly in town.
We like abandoned places.
And
it's
so,
just our thing.
Yeah, and then I think this was after was this after I almost broke my arm? I believe it was.
I don't know, man.
Okay, well, anyways, I'm gonna help. You don't know anything.
They all blur together. We've gone to a lot of abandoned places. I can tell you a lot of stuff about Lester, the place itself, though.
Okay. Well, anyways, we decide to look up somewhere to go because we'd exhausted all of our resources in town.
Yeah.
And we hear like through the internet that there's this haunted place in a town called Lester, Alabama, not super far away, and it was Lester Hospital.
Yeah.
And on the internet, mind you, it just mentioned that it was a hospital for like Civil War soldiers, and like that it's functioned as a normal hospital like a little bit later on into the earlier 1900s. But then
it was like a clinic back then, like
but then
field clinic.
We get closer, and I feel like that's when I personally, I don't know if y'all knew beforehand, but then I figure out that this hospital was an abandoned insane asylum.
Yeah, we knew like vaguely about that, but then we learned more about that when we actually got there.
Yeah, so that was fucked.
Basically, this place was almost like all of the worst things that a place could be.
Yeah.
And you could feel it as we drove closer. Let's like get like real into like ghost story mode. Ready? So as we drove closer, there were no city lights because it was out in the middle of butt fuck nowhere.
Butt fuck nowhere, no city. No city means no city lights. Butt fuck nowhere means darkness.
I feel like a lot of people who live in towns and don't really venture out aren't going to understand this, but when you're in like pitch black with no lights for miles, it hits different. The lights of the car are all you have, and it's like the darkness is, you're like in a ocean of darkness, and only thing is you can see is the light that rolls it back in front of you, and only like 10 feet or something like that. However far the lights go.
Granted, I will say that your eyes get adjusted to it after so long.
Yeah, but you still can only see a certain distance when you're driving.
Yeah, or else we wouldn't have been able to get around much. But anyways, so we get there. I don't remember who all we had with us. I think we had one other dude hanging out with us and then 2 girls.
Maybe. I don't know. We went out there several different times and brought different people, because I remember we brought Stephanie and Austin at one point.
Oh yeah, well
I don't know if that was
I'm talking about the first time, but
yeah, I don't remember.
So the first time, I mean, we pull up, and I think it was with Stephanie and Austin after we'd figured out that there was an apparent ghost that wandered through the woods, and we looked for him that time.
Oh, it was a ghost that had the head of a deer and a body of a woman or something like that.
Yeah.
Out in the woods, and we we went out in the woods, and that was scary as shit.
Yeah, it was.
Did not like that. Oh, it was Jack. Jack was with us.
Oh, yeah.
Because we brought the baton.
Yeah, I think it was Jack.
Jack made a baton for us to wield so we could kill the deer creature.
Well, I will personally tell you that on our first trip to Leicester, okay, so this is when we're like actually getting into it. We get to Leicester. I just remember us getting out of the car and we're kind of like inspecting around the building. Ryan had parked somewhere originally and I just felt uneasy about it, and I was like, hey, I think we should move the car. I felt like we should leave, but I was like, I think we should move the car. And he was like, dude, come on, like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, just like, I think we need to move it like further up on the hill and like blah blah blah, and I don't think we should try to like get into it from down here, because Ryan was gonna get in through the fence. And
there was a open window on the side too.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna crawl through the fucking window.
Yeah, so yeah, into the abandoned insane asylum. So I'm sitting here and it just didn't set well with me. So
as it should.
We parked the car at the top of the, like, closer up towards like the main like building and stuff, closer to the side really, and we inspected up on that higher ground level the building, and we couldn't find like a direct way in, right? But then I feel like we vaguely noticed it at first, but then we noticed it even more, that there was a light on
at the very front.
At the very front, and we were like, yo, like somebody pointed out, and everybody didn't want to go up to it. So I went up and I looked in the window, and there was just this like small room, and there was like an old soiled mattress on the floor, and that was like it in the entire room. And then there was just this weird fucking like lavender.
There was a car parked there too, right? There was a car. It was either the first time or the second time, or maybe both, but there was definitely a car at one point.
Yeah, but it wasn't like we weren't dumb enough to like, if there was a car like parked where it was like clearly like someone, I feel like I remember I pointed it out, but it was like off to the side, and you were like, everyone was like, oh well, that's probably been here, because it was a fucking like piece of shit truck too.
Yeah.
So there's all of that. Anyways, I don't remember much that happened after that. I just remember that Ryan kept wanting to go inside, and I just felt like he shouldn't. And for some reason, I think we saw or heard movement inside, and everybody like freaked out and went back to the car. And then me and somebody else ended up walking up to the front door and knocking. And then that was the second time we went, though. It was the second?
Yeah, because we didn't do it the first time. And I was like, dude, we got to go back. I want to go inside. And we went back. And then the second time, you and someone went up to the door and knocked. And at first, no one answered.
Yeah, and then we just stood there and we were like, oh, it's nothing. And then the second time, we knocked like one more time and looked around, and we were like, bro, see, like, there's nobody in there, but that's also kind of unsettling, because what was it last time then? Yeah. And we started walking back towards the car pretty casually. I think it was me and Jack.
Yeah.
That ended up going up there. So we
got in the car though, because I remember I was ready to drive away.
Yeah, we got in the car. And I remember very vividly, I was in the passenger seat, and then the door swings open, and I was like, and my heart immediately started racing. I was like, holy fuck. And then this dude walks out, and he's got just jeans on. That's the only thing he's wearing is jeans.
Redneck to the core.
Yeah, he was just wearing jeans, and he had a fucking pistol in his waistband in the front where you could see it. And we were like, oh my god. And he started walking up to the car.
It's like, that's not a ghost.
Yeah, and Ryan, I felt like was ready to just immediately pull off, and I tried to like immediately verbalize our purpose there so that he didn't shoot us. And I was like, hey, do you live here? And he was like, who's asking? And he was like really like aggressive and like defensive. And I was like, oh well, we don't mean to bother you. Me and my friends, we just heard about this hospital, and like we wanted to see what all the hype was about it and like blah blah blah, and I was like tripping over my words and like freaking out, and then he walks up like right next to the car, and I was like, okay, I'm either gonna die like or like I don't know. And then he reached for his gun, and that's when my adrenaline
and that's
like
when
shot.
My
at the
hand
most.
went to the fucking reverse.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, and he turned off the safety.
Yeah, he
turned on the safety.
Yeah, he clicked it on, and you hear it click, and he was like, well, I can tell you a little bit about it.
Wait, do you
And we
remember
were
what he said before
holy
that?
Shit, no.
He was like, well, I got a girl in there right now, so I'm gonna go back in there in a minute.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
like, can you tell us a little bit about this place first? And he was like, sure.
He was
actually
like, that's
kind of
why
a
I
cool
came out
dude.
with my jeans, is I have a lady friend or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
We were like, oh my god.
We were like, damn, he was getting it in with the ghost in there.
The ghosts were probably all watching from the doorway. They were like, oh yeah. Well, I guess I was in an insane asylum.
They're like, who's the real monster here? Oh, and the Civil War people are just in the corner like, what the fuck? Yeah, but he told us a little bit about the place. He said, I think it went Civil War place, and then
like fields?
yeah, like the field hospital, and then like a regular hospital, and then an insane asylum. And he
And
said he
apparently
found
they did electrotherapy.
yeah,
to
he
the-
found the equipment from the insane asylum where they had like shocked people and shit like that. And basically his thing was he gets paid to sit there and live there and make sure no one goes in.
until they do it up at Halloween.
Yeah, and during Halloween they turn it into like a haunted house. But he gets paid to just chill there. And that's
a cool job.
Yeah,
Not really.
no.
I would fucking hate that job.
That's brave. That's brave of him. But me and Alex talked about it, and we were like, why would the ghost be cool with that? But then we realized, like, well, the ghosts probably don't want to be fucked with, or spirits, or whatever you want to call them. So they're probably cool with one dude chilling there in the front of the place, as long as he keeps everybody else out, you know?
Even if he fucks someone.
Yeah, the occasional fucking is cool, but they probably just possess the bitches he brings over. He probably just gets like a lot of bitches, and then like they leave possessed. Like they don't leave alone.
Oh, I thought you meant like they possess the girl so that they can like feel him. Yeah.
Oh. Shock me, daddy. What?
Oh.
What?
She's like, I didn't say that, and he's like, oh, okay.
It's like, you're a kinky motherfucker, aren't you? Oh man. But yeah, I mean, there's probably some more questions that you have about this place, and if you do, put them in the comments, and we'll be happy to answer them to the best of our ability. It's in Lester, Alabama. If you want to look it up, you can. It's called probably Lester's Haunted Hospital, because you know it's most well known for its Halloween stuff right now. But it's actually a pretty fucked up place. So. Yeah, we were going to talk about one other thing today, but I think we're just going to go ahead and push that off until the next episode. Next episode, we're going to talk about some more ghost stories. You've probably heard us, or maybe have heard us, talk about my Uncle Quentin before he passed away, but I believe he's still with me. And I'm cool with that because he's only ever done stuff to make me laugh or to protect me, I believe. So I'm cool with him hanging around. And then we also have to talk about the Halloween house where the people got shot execution style.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
Yep, I fucked up my knees that day.
Yeah, you get hurt a lot during our escapades.
It's because I'm the man.
Yeah, the man who got fucked up his knees when he was running out of the house and fell in the gravel, and fucked up his arm when he was running away from the factory. Well, that one wasn't.
Y'all were running away too. My boots got caught on the fence.
Yeah, you were kind of. That was unnecessary. You could have just gone around. I think you were doing that to impress the girls that time.
No, it's just because I didn't want to run the whole fence length. But
you should have just gone with to impress the girls.
No,
That would have been cooler.
what ended up happening was
what?
no, listen. What ended up happening was I tried impressing the girls without them even knowing by acting like I was totally okay.
Oh yeah, he did do
because
that.
they sat there and wanted to fucking talk for 15 minutes, and I was pretty sure I broke my elbow, and I was sitting there and I was like, hi, yeah, and we were like talking about stuff. And then I remember Duncan standing there, and I was like, "Hi, y'all better get out of here, rascals. Be safe." And then they close my door, and then get in their car, and I'm like, "All right, bye." And I wave through your window, and then I turn to you, and I'm like, "Take me to the hospital right now."
Yeah.
And then I remember crying on the parkway.
You're like, "Shit, man."
I was like, "Bro, this really fucking hurts."
Oh man.
Bro. And then you left me there because your mom was afraid you were gonna get the flu. You left me at the fucking hospital.
Well, I wasn't gonna. I was gonna go inside. My mom was like, "Don't go in there, Ryan. You might get the flu." And I was like, "I'm like 18, Mom. I'll be okay."
Like, son of a bitch.
And now we're getting COVID.
Yeah.
Imagine what she'd try to do if I went into a hospital now.
We should be like, "Hey, we're gonna go get our flu shots at the hospital." She'd be like, "Oh my god."
She'd be so conflicted. She'd be like,
But flu shot, but flu in hospital.
Okay, since this is Conspiracy Theory Thursday, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't get your shot. I'm not telling you that.
"I got my shot."
But I'm convinced that they have something to do with COVID in this year's flu vaccine, so I refuse to get it.
Well, I'm fine.
Are you, Ryan?
Well, I got my shot like a week ago.
Are you?
I feel good.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah?
what do you do from about 3 a.m. until 11 a.m.?
Oh, easy. Masturbate. Alex is trying to be serious. And when I said that... Wait, from what time?
About 3 to 4 a.m. till 11 a.m.? What are you doing?
Usually... Wait, 3 or 4 a.m. to 11 a.m.?
Yeah.
Sleeping?
Yeah. What are you doing in that time frame while you're sleeping?
Usually sleeping.
Yeah, but like, what are you doing in that time frame?
Well, usually I'm asleep.
Yeah, but while you're asleep, are you aware of what you're doing?
I mean, sometimes I do, like, dreams. And in the dreams...
So what I'm hearing is there's no witness to say what you've actually been doing and feeling.
Well, I mean...
Or if you've been
Apollo's-
partaking...
My cat has seen all of it, dude.
If you've been partaking in any mind control fueled activities from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. Yeah, see, look, he's calling at the door because he's like, "Oh my god, he's onto it. He's onto it."
This is a dumb conversation. I'm ending the video.
No!